Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today we're taking a look at something pretty cool. It's Microsoft's new AI model called Phi-4. And well, let me tell you, it's causing a bit of a stir. You might be thinking, another AI, what's the big deal? Well, Phi-4, it's a little different. It's what they call a small language model. Think of it like this. You know how some AI models are these huge, massive supercomputers? Well, Phi-4 is more like, I don't know, a really sleek, powerful laptop. It's designed for efficiency, compact, which in the world of AI, that's kind of a big deal. But here's the real kicker. Even though Phi-4 is smaller than some of its, let's say, more famous AI relatives, it's actually outperforming them in some areas, especially when it comes to math. Yeah, we're talking going head-to-head with the big guys and surprisingly coming out on top. So how'd they pull this off? Well, it seems like the secret's in the training. Instead of feeding Phi-4 mountains and mountains of general data, they use something called synthetic data. It's information that's created specifically for training. Kind of like if you had an athlete and you gave them like a super focused training regimen tailored to their strengths, And this approach, well, it seems to be working wonders for Phi-4. So how does this synthetic data training actually work? Well, they started with a mix of information, right, from the public web, their own AI data sets, things like question and answer pairs. But here's where it gets interesting. They didn't just use any old data. They were picky. They filtered out questions that were too simple, too complex. They wanted that sweet spot data that would really challenge Phi-4, push it to learn. And then, get this, they got really creative. They used a bunch of techniques to actually generate new synthetic data from this initial set. Like they used another AI to rewrite information from the web into fresh test questions. And then they had the AI generate the answers, even used open source code as a starting point, fed it into the AI, had it come up with a question that the code would answer. Talk about thinking outside the box, right? All this attention to detail, it seems to be paying off big time. Now you're probably thinking, okay, all this is cool, but can I actually use Phi-4 myself? Well, right now, access is a little limited. It's available through Microsoft's Azure AI Foundry service, but mostly for research. Specific license agreement, that kind of thing. But there's good news. Microsoft has said that they plan to release the code on Hugging Face sometime in the future, which would make it a lot more accessible to developers, researchers, all sorts of people. So while you might not be able to play around with Phi-4 just yet, definitely keep an eye out, because this little AI, it's on its way to making a big impact, that's for sure. One thing that really stands out with Phi-4 is it's kind of showing us that you don't always need tons and tons of computing power to do amazing things with AI. And that's huge, right? Because it means that more people can get involved, not just the big players with all the resources. Now, Phi-4 has been getting a lot of attention for its math skills, coding skills, and yeah, deservedly so. But here's what I find really interesting. This whole approach, using this high-quality synthetic data, it could be a real game changer for other fields too, not just math and coding. Think about it. If this way of training can make an AI that good at those things, imagine what we could do with similar models, but tailored for specific tasks, like in medicine or law, even creative writing. I mean, picture this. Doctors having access to an AI that can analyze medical images and help them diagnose things faster, more accurately, or architects using something like this to design these super complex structures. It's pretty mind-blowing when you really start thinking about it. And here's where it gets even cooler. This kind of targeted training, it could lead to AI tools that are actually affordable for everyone, not just big tech companies, right? Small businesses could use it, individual researchers, even artists. It's like democratizing AI, and making its benefits available to everyone. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, okay, this sounds incredible, but is there a catch? Well, of course, it's still early days for Phi-4. It's a research preview. They're still working on it, but even now, it's giving us a glimpse into what the future of AI could be. More efficient, more accessible, and able to tackle all sorts of new problems. So what's next for Phi-4? Well, Microsoft has mentioned that they're planning to release the code on Hugging Face. And that's a big deal. It means developers, researchers, anyone really can start experimenting with it, building on it, exploring new applications. And that kind of open collaboration, that's what fuels innovation. So it's really exciting to think about what might come out of this. Phi-4, it might be small, but it's already making waves. Can't wait to see what the future holds for this groundbreaking AI. Phi-4 is really, I think, a perfect example of how AI is always changing. It's not always about making these giant models. Sometimes it's about being clever, finding efficient ways to train models that are just right for the job. And PHI 4, it's showing us that sometimes less is more. And that opens up so many possibilities for how we use AI to solve problems, make things better. Imagine a future where AI isn't just this thing for big companies, but everyone can use it. Researchers, small businesses, even artists.
So that wraps up our deep dive into PHI 4, a small AI with some pretty big implications. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, keep asking those big questions.